Is it going? See how we're able to do this. Hold on. Want to make sure this is working before anything starts. Am I live? What is happening here? Okay, I'll just reload Chrome to see if I'm actually live. Okay, yeah. Says I'm live. Okay. Well, welcome to the shit show. Where a cripple, one-handed, is prepping for D&D. So I'll explain right now for anybody that's going to be rewatching this afterwards. And then, more or less, I'll wait to talk more once everyone else either does or doesn't show up in the stream. So what we're doing is a multi-DM style game where it's very Kingdom Hearts-esque, although it's not going to be Kingdom Hearts. We're taking all of our other different likes and putting it into D&D. So what I'm doing is essentially the Aragon series, where I'm going to set them up in their world. They're going to jump in. They're going to go ahead and essentially be in the Aragon universe. But they're going to get a few items, go on this small journey, help people out if they can. You know, typical D&D stuff. But I wanted to go ahead and get some prep going and see if I can get anybody's help during the stream. Although, I don't have a lot of followers, so whenever I go live, no one really comes up in here like that. So, it's all good. Doesn't matter all too much. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So, as we go through this, I'm going to be creating items. I'm going to create the different NPCs and, you know, just different different things to help me in the world. So, first thing I'm going to do is the Rider's Swords. I'm also going to make this a little bigger, because even I can't see it right there. Rider's Sword from Calgary. I'm just going to do Aerial Nova. Rider's Swords. Alright, so they're going to be a +3 weapon. It's going to be based off of their preference, so they're going to have to choose whether it's a two-handed, one-handed. I'd personally go hand and half, so I'm going to get one for me already made. +3 weapon, indestructible. Puts on 18 plus. It can be a magic focus. Is that going to be apostrophe? Yes. Cool, got it. Staff of the Staff of the Manoa tree. That is the giant tree that is in Elismira. It's the elven part of Allegasia. She sang herself into a tree and now it has magical properties. So if you make a staff of it, I'm going to make it a +2 staff. Staff of the Woodlands. Cool. Well, that's 2 items already done. So a Rider's Sword is +3 on attack and +3 on damage. You get the indestructibility feature with it, meaning it can never break. And if it comes down to something else trying to break it, and that weapon succeeds, it would then break that weapon instead. So it has like a indestructible / reverse destructible effect. It's more or less treated like a vorpal weapon, just +3 vorpal. Just no sundering, because that would be too easy. And plus, they're not even Dragon Riders. So, although having a dragon to have with them is not a bad idea. Should I have them bond with the dragon? You know, I probably could. If they roll... Actually, I could make them Dragon Riders. And then you could essentially make it so where they're getting... like, if you choose like a fighter, and then you multi-class into a wizard, you're able to get a small chart of wizard spells. Not like a full wizard build, but like multi-class wizard build. We could do that. Actually, that's not that bad. Make them Dragon Riders. And then I'll just make a weapon or staff or some sort of magical object per person. Okay, so Staff of the Manoa Tree. That'll be for the druids. So let's go Barbarians. Barbarians. We'll go hammer, Strong Hammer Bracers. So these will be for either fighters or barbarians. And it's a +1 to your strength. +1 to strength. Strength. Add an additional yeah, that's actually a relatively decent magical item. Get Roaring Strong Hammers Bracers. That way, if you're using a hammer, you're even stronger. Roaring is a badass. Let's see. Barbarian Bard. What can we do for Bard? Ooh. Loot of Loot of Lislanzadi. She is the Elven Queen before certain things happen. So that will be a +1 musical instrument. +1 magical focus. +1 magical focus instrument. Yeah. Auto does it for me. +1 magical focus instrument just means you add 1 to both your attacks and damage for all of your bard spells when you're using that loot. And actually, that's good for right there. Bard. Now we have Clerics. Why do I not have any kind of reference open for me? Hold on. Yeah. So we'll go cleric, and then monk. No. What would that be? Symbol of I'm trying to remember the dwarven god's name without looking it up, because I know what his name is. Actually, strong hammer bracers will be for a fighter. I have something different in mind for a barbarian. Symbol of... That's gonna drive me nuts. I gotta look it up. Where's God here? No, he's the Guntera. There we go. Guntera. Morgathal. That's their god of fire. Symbol of Guntera. +2. It's a +2 magical focus, so it's +2 on rolls and damage for all cleric spells. Which means if you're a divine sorcerer as well, and you can use cleric spells whenever you use your cleric spells using this symbol of Guntera, that will also be able to pass for that too. Okay, and for barbarians, the purple helm, Herbal Helm of Destruction, +2. Just a +2 helm. You put it on, get +2 on damage and attacks. It works. Monks. Are there really any monks in Aragon? Imagine some sort of way there are. I mean, there are monk dwarves. Elves are pretty much monks. Ooh. Get an idea. Excuse me. Carvings of the prayer beads of the Elven Mind. Bead plus. I'm gonna say +1, just because monks are so broken anyways. I don't trust them to have a +2 or a +3 magical item. There's honestly no point. Like, honestly, on the low end, even if you're hitting somebody, you're doing significant damage anyways, so using these prayer beads are just mostly going to be a +1 focus and have time for meditation. So that's still relatively broken in comparison to all the other magical items, but it's not going to overbreak everything else, you know what I mean? Or the other classes right now. Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, and Sorcerer. Ranger will do a bow. Paladin will do armor. Rogue will be a dagger. Sorcerer can be a necklace. And then we just have Warlock and Wizard. Okay. Armor of the... What's a good paladin-like person in Aragon? I remember... I can't remember what his name is, and he was on the opposite side of what our heroes would want to be on. I mean, relatively. You never really know. He was on Galbatorix's side, not Aragon's side. Who was that guy? Bars. Lord Bars. Yeah. Armor of Lord Bars. That is going to be... My wrist hurts. Those of you who don't know, I got into a car accident almost a month ago. And I broke my wrist in 6 different places. My back's all messed up. And I have anxiety now. It's wonderful. This Armor of Lord Bars is going to add... actually, it's going to just do... Because it was really hard to hit him. Although, spoiler alert, it was an Eldenari field person. It was just hard to crack his armor. Armor Lord Bars, so it'll be 15 plus Dex mod plus 2 armor. And it'll be heavy armor. Paladin. And now we're on to Ranger. Well, Elismira. That's going to be 8 plus 3 plus 3 longbow. $18 plus 20 to add advantage. So I'll make it a plus 3 longbow. Plus 3 longbow with possible advantage, depending on if you can roll that high. Dagger. Dagger of Razak. I'm just gonna make it a plus 2 Vorpal Dagger. They had some crazy magic of their own back in the day. It's actually pretty crazy what they could do. And the Vorpal Dagger, I'm gonna say, is gonna be made out of the thing of a Leather Blocko, which is just a Razak's. Ooh, then why don't I just say that? Dagger of the. Dagger of the Leather Blocko. Ooh, no, it'll be. Oh. Hold on. Ring. This. No, hold on. Ring of spell storage. So in Aragon, if you find a precious gem, like a ruby or a sapphire or diamond, diamonds are relatively the stronger of the gems, just because of the pureness and the facets they can hold. You can put a certain amount of energy into this gem, and sometimes they're like almost unlimited storage in there. Because in Aragon, the way that you cast spells is you use your own physical body's energy to cast a spell. So it would be, if I wanted to say, mouse Risa, and I wanted to lift this mouse up in the air. The spell would cost me energy the exact same amount that it would take for me to lift it physically with my hand. So for this, it'd be nothing at all. However, if I wanted to say, you know, raise my bed, it would take a lot more energy because it's a lot heavier, and so it would physically exert me a lot faster. And so what certain sorcerers and especially the writers would do is they would get a ring or a belt studded with different gems. Also, the writer's swords also have one of those gems in it already in the pommel, so it already has the capability of doing it on its own. So depending on what these people are going to do for their swords, I'm also going to make sure they get a passive ring of spell storage in their swords. Although for a sorcerer, you can make your writer sword any kind of sword that you want. Scimitar, longsword, bastard sword, two-handed broadsword, like literally anything you want. But they'll all have one in it. But if you're a sorcerer and you're like, oh yeah, well I want a writer sword to be a scimitar so I can still be able to use it. Cool, no problem. Now you have technically 2 rings of spell storage. Because this would essentially be 1 person per item. Because I don't want to load everyone up with like incredible magical items. But you can stores up. Stores up spell slots. Stores up spell slots as you want to, I guess. It would still require the same amount of spell slots as you have now. It just doesn't go away. So it's not like a magical item where you're like, oh, well, I want to use this many of the charges. And you're like, okay, once at dawn, you can go ahead and re-roll and see how many charges you get back. No, sorry, it's not going to be like that. This is going to be as much as you want. So perfect. That's as you want. So that was the sorcerer. I know for the Warlock, I definitely want to do something to do with werecats. I don't know if my one viewer has any ideas to give. Thank you. I could do like a staff of the werecats, and you can. It was essentially like a wild shape kind of a thing. No, I can just give them. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Staff of the werecats. So it'll be a +2 magic focus. With the staff being activated, you can use your advantage. Advantage on perception. Perception, history, arcana, and animal handling. That'll work. And for wizards. It'll just be a normal spell book, but it just gives you Wikipedia. Let me try to find. Do that. There we go. Aragon Elven Literature. It's not. It's not going to let me see what I want to see. So call it the book. Call it the Book of True Names. Maybe a +2 be a +2. So +1. +1 spellbook. The magic focus. And I want to give it a good ability. And 1 extra. These are some spell levels. So it will be pretty broken later on when you can get to where you have level 9 spells. But it's not too broken because it's only a +1 spell book. So we have the Herbal Helm of Destruction for Barbarians. We have the Loot of Islanzadi for Bards. We have Staff of the Manoa Tree for Druids. I wonder if I want to add something for that Staff of the Manoa Tree. Add 1 more wild shape per day. Yeah, because when you're a lower level druid, you can only wild shape a few times a day. So if you have the Staff of the Manoa Tree, you can add 1 more wild shape to your character. Okay. So Barbarian Bar Druid. We have Strong Hammer Bracers for a fighter. We have the Symbol of Guntera for the cleric. Monks have the Prayer Beads of the Elven Mind. Paladin has Armor of Lord Barst. Ranger has the Bow of Elismira. Rogue has the Dagger of the Leatherblockout. Sorcerer has the Ring of Spell Storage. Warlock has the Staff of the Werecats. And Book of True Names is given to the Wizards. I am not doing Artificer or Blood Hunter. Just the basic things. Okay. Now on to building the world. Actually, the world's already built. Like, I have the map and everything. It's just a matter of figuring out the story, what I want to do. what to do. Okay. So what they're gonna do is they're going to escort. What is his name? Warlock. It's one Warlock. That'll be the basic. Yeah, that'll be the basic adventure for this. So there goes another little penis dude out there. Gonna have his car loud as fuck for no reason other than to piss people off. Anyways, so he's the one that guards the Eldenari on the island. And so once he's able to actually get over onto the main continent, and then he starts making his way over, they're going to be on a long journey to go ahead and get to Elismira. Not a very long journey, like a month's time. Is that about a month? Yeah, it's about a month. That's about how long it took them. Not to get there originally, they had to go clear across the entire map, then back over to the Beulah Mountains, and then all the way back up, way up into the forest. They literally circled the entire continent just to get to that one forest. It's like literally not even that far away from where he originally started. So yeah, so it'll be about a month journey. They're going to see if they can become riders, but they'll still get rider swords anyways. Yeah. Yep, we can do that. Okay. So traveling. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. They just have to get through, fighting off different enemies and whatnot to be able to go ahead and to get there, because they have all of the Albatorix's people there. The war would have literally just been won. And yeah, they're going to need to be able to fight off whoever. They'll get... They're going to go to Illyria first. Then they're going to give it Elismira. That would be even better. because then they're going to get a whole bunch of dragon eggs from there, and then they're going to see whether or not they can actually become riders. Ooh, why is my stream lagging out? This is... okay, it's a little better. Oh, that fell. Yeah. Sweet. So let's go down here. Start at... oh, what is it called? Start with both the souls. Help get Laura to Lyria through Tiern. I need to see a map of Allegasia. Map of Allegasia. Okay. So they're gonna go. Oh, it's called Doro Ariba. Okay, through. Narda. Tiern. Tiern, Drosleona. To Lyria. With Malswada. And continue to escort Warlock through Gilead. Xenon. Ozon. And Mary. So start of the Vault of Souls. On Vroengard. Next to Dora Ariba. They're gonna go fly across the ocean to Narda. Then they're gonna travel down the spine to Tiern. Then they're gonna go down the river from there through Drosleona, next to Leona Lake. You're going to see Hellgrind. Ooh, that's where the dagger leather bucket could be. I'm smart. So we're going to go through there. They're going to get to Illyria. Then they're going to try to gain favor with Najwana. They're going to have to be very charismatic and persuasive, saying they came from a different world. All they want to do is help and then get back. And the only people that can figure it out are going to be elves. And so, with their help, they're going to be able to get out of there. So they're going to travel from Dorariba. No, sorry, not there. From Illyria, they're going to continue to escort Warlock through to Gilead. Then they're going to cross around Ice and Star Lake through to Seudon. Then from there, they're going to travel east through Ulsalon and Duwald and Barden, and then get to Elismira. They're going to visit the Manoa Tree. They're going to visit Arya and all of them. They're going to see the body of Oramos and Glader over in Gilead. Aragon's going to meet them, and they're going to figure out exactly what to do with the rest of the dragon eggs, which some of them are around, so some of those dragons will hatch and turn some of them into dragon riders. And then they'll get the rider swords for help, and then if they're able to, they'll go ahead and get their other items. Let's see the image. There we go. Cool. Done. Yeah. Well, I think that's essentially it. So now I'm going to save this. Save this as... Save it under Aragon World. And that is essentially it. Yeah. I don't know what the other worlds are going to be just yet. But so the two people watching right now, to give you a little bit of insight as to what's going on, we're going to be doing a sorry, my brain's so fried from just trying to keep my sanity watching all these shows and looking at these screens. I can't think straight sometimes. We're going to do a not Final Fantasy. Shit. We're going to do a Kingdom Hearts style campaign where each of us are going to rotate DM each world that we like. So I came up with a whole bunch of different items to give them on their journey. They are kind of broken, but honestly, I don't see this as being one of the first worlds that they come across. So even if they do become dragon riders, it's not going to be too broken as far as their abilities and stuff go. But I did come up with one magical item of each class, and I set up essentially what it's going to be for the story. So they're just escorting the Guardian of the Eldenari through to the capital, and then they're going to go to the Elven capital. That's all it's going to be. They're going to meet almost everyone along the way. Some people obviously will be dead or just not there, because it's after the war has already ended. So when I don't know if anybody here, like the two of you watching, I don't know if either of you have been, have you read Aragon or anything else, but in the last book, when Aragon finally beats, spoiler alert, major spoiler alert, if you're ever going to watch or at least read the books, he finally defeats Galbatorix. They meet, legendary showdown, the two greatest riders in the land, because there's only technically 3 at that point. Aragon uses the Eldenari to go ahead and focus his spell, and it's an incredible amount of it's like so much energy flowing through him, and so that I'm going to use as an excuse for a doorway to pop open, for them to go ahead and settle down on Dor Ariba. It's the island where all the writers used to live before the story even starts. And they're going to wander around, and I'm going to make sure that it plants in somebody's head that the notion of finding the Vault of Souls is important. And so they'll speak their name, and since they don't have like their true name from here, I'm not going to make them figure it out. Or I might just make them do like a history or an insight check on themselves, see if they can figure it out. Other people can help them, but honestly, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But they're going to go into the Vault of Souls. They're going to meet Warlock. He's going to, what the hell are you doing here? And then his memory is going to shift and go, oh, these people are here to help. Because if they don't help and they go to attack him, he'll slaughter everybody. But he's going to be intimidating enough to like, no, we should probably like hang back and see what this is all about. But once they do convince him that they're there to help, he'll go ahead and give them an escort mission, essentially. Be like, okay, the war is over. We're going to go. Aragon's actually going to show up. He's going to collect all the Eldenari and all the dragon eggs. They're going to go fly across, do this journey to go ahead and get back to the capital. And then once there, Aragon's essentially going to be telling them the entire history of what happened, from at least from the war and on until present day. And then he's going to explain to Noswada that they're there to help, and that they're from a different world and they need to get out of here. And the only people who can figure it out is either going to be him or the elves. And since he doesn't know what the hell just happened, he's going to send them to the elves, see if they can figure it out. Arya will be there helping. All of their like way elder spellcasters. You go, oh yeah, other worlds. Let me go ahead and just open my book real quick. And they'll go through another portal, I guess. We'll just use the Eldenari to open up another portal, exactly how they got through this one. And then they go back to their worlds. But yeah, that's essentially what it's going to be for this world. And I'm going to make them visit pretty much every place that they can. So when Aragon is making his decision to leave is when these guys are going to leave. And so that way it's like it incorporates them into the story without breaking it, and I think it'll be pretty fun. And since it's my favorite book series and that's the one I know off the top of my head. I only had to look up a couple of things to be able to go ahead and make sure I got the names right. Like Gintera, Lord Barst, and Kurok's name. Or Warlock. I didn't have to think of anything else. Like, it was all just right off the top of here. But yeah, let's see if you guys like these items. Comment if you want to. See if these are a little broken, or if you know the story of Aragon, or you like D&D. So when they do the Rider Swords, I'm going to make sure that their mind is taken over again by the person who makes all the Rider Swords. If I think hard enough, I can figure out her name, but I'm going to be lazy right now because I want to get through this. But she is going to go ahead and take control of their minds and bodies and go ahead and forge their own swords for themselves. But it'll be a +3 weapon, indestructible. They will go ahead and have a reverse destruction effect. So where, if you use your basic weapon to go ahead and try to destroy it, it will then in turn have a certain percentage to go ahead and break your weapon instead, or whatever else you're trying to figure out how to destruct it with. Destroy it with. My brain's fried. Crits on 18+. It can be used as a magic focus, and it has what's called the Ring of Spell Storage in the pommel. And if you guys know the Aragon story, the Ring of Spell Storage, you can store up to however many spell slots you want in this ring. And that's the Sorcerer's magical item. And if you do know Aragon and or D&D, try to give me any more ideas for some of these items to make it even better for the players. So for the Druid, I did the Staff of the Minnow Tree. So it is a +2 Staff of the Woodland, so it's plus... Obviously it's a plus whatever weapon or item. It's going to do +1 or whatever number it is on rolling and damage. So to hit and with the damage. So +2 Staff of the Woodlands, plus you add one more Wild Shape ability per day. That's... All these are relatively broken, but also like not at the same time. Strong Hammer Bracers, it just automatically gives another +1 to their strength. They're going to add 2 damage if using a hammer on every attack. So everything that hits, it'll add 2 more damage just if it's a hammer. For the Bard, I'm going to have the Loop of Izinzadi. It's a +1 magical focus instrument. I'm not going to make it any more broken than that because Bards are already broken, along with Monks, which is why for the Prayer Beads of the Elven Mind, I did a +1 focus, and you have the time for meditation. So, as a monk, you don't... Actually, I haven't played a monk in a while, so I'm not entirely sure. But if you don't already have the ability to meditate instead of sleep, 4 hours for a short rest and 8 hours for a long rest, you get that feature as well, and then you just have that. So now it's 2 hours for a short rest and 4 hours for a long rest. It's incredible. Although if you're an elf, makes sense. For the Clerics, I did the Symbol of Gintera. It's a +2 magical focus. And it works for any person that can use Cleric spells. Obviously Clerics. Like I said earlier, it'll be like Divine Sorcerer, stuff like that. They can go ahead and use those. For Barbarians, I did a +2 helm for the Urgle Helm of Destruction. So put that on. You go into a rage. You now have +2 on both your attack rolls and damage rolls. Armor of Lord Barst will be for paladins. It'll be 15 plus your dex mod, +2 for heavy armor. So if your dex mod is 4, so 15 plus 4 is 19, plus 2 is 21. He was hard to hit, but he also had a giant mace that he was destroying people with. So I'm just going to factor that in anyway, just to sprinkle on a little flair. For Rangers, I did the Bow of Elismiris, the +3 longbow. You can roll a d20 to give yourself advantage, and as long as it's 18 or above, you get it. If not, you then just do your roll to hit. So the Dagger of the Leatherblocka is a +2 Vorpal dagger. That's for it's for rogues. Ring of Spell Storage, I've already explained. Staff of the Werecats, that's for our Warlocks. It's a +2 magic focus. You get advantage on Perception, History, Arcana, and Animal Handling. Oh no, I only had 2 viewers. There's no concurrent viewers. Oh well, I'll still explain it anyways. Book of the True Names is for wizards. You get a +1 spellbook. Counts as a magic focus as well. And then you add 1 extra spell slot of your existing spell slots already. So it doesn't matter when you have those spell slots, as long as you have them per day, you'll get the 1 extra spell slot of whatever you have. And that's all of the items. And now I can go ahead and start doing the writer stuff. So to become writer. Roll d20 on on 19 or a 20. Roll percentage dice. On 85% and above, you succeed. After 2 level ups and dragon becomes adult size +1 to all stats. gain half to all skills. Wizard. Actually, sorcerer. And multi-class sorcerer spell slots. Yeah. After 2 level ups and dragon becomes adult size, then you gain all those things. Yeah, because if you have half proficiency in everything, if you already have half proficiency, it goes up to a full, and then your full proficiency becomes 1.5. No. Oh, I'll have to figure that one out later. Or just gain proficiency to history, Arcana, history, Arcana, perception. Yeah. So you gain the proficiency to history, Arcana, perception, athletics, acrobatics, and animal handling. And if you already have those, then it gets bumped up to double proficiency. Looks like my stream is dying. Why is it dying? Why? don't know. Well, the stream's pretty much over anyways. Either way, stream's pretty much over. Yeah, anybody watching back on this, thank you for watching. If you were live while, like if you were watching while I was live, thank you. And we'll see you next time. Peace. Yes.